Welcome back, everybody, to Who's Your Band. I am joined again this week by my co-host, Mr. Sean Morton. How are you, Sean?
I'm here. I'm not in my car. I'm actually in my studio today. I'm not going to get overheated on my phone, so my internet dies on me like I did with the Ripper Owens episode, which is really great.
Yeah,
really fun.
You're awake. You took your little nappy.
I took my nap.
You had your food. You're ready to go.
I took my nap. So now I can tell people what happened really quick. We're interviewing Ripper Owens, right? From Judas Priest, from KK Downing's Priest. A great episode. And I was in my car and I had the air conditioning on. Because, I'm 6'3", 350 pounds. I got to have the air conditioning on in December. You know what I mean? And I heard that the noise was too loud, so I turned it off. It lasted 4 minutes, and my phone overheated in my car, and it died for 4 hours after the interview.
And then Ripper and I went on to have a great interview, and it's going to be our highest rated show. But could be challenged by this one right here, because I am really excited today to introduce our two guests. We have Zach and Harrison from Tempt. How are you guys?
We are great.
We're doing wonderful. How are you guys?
Yeah, of course you're great. Listen, folks, this band is, it's like Sean and I, we're two comedians that love music, and we had you guys on the show, and we really went through your music, checked out your music, and Sean, what you posted today, man, they're great. This is
I posted
great
a video of the Living Dangerous single.
That's not even their best song, though.
No, first of all, you don't say that to people. You don't say that. Oh,
it's not their best song.
Okay, yeah, but whatever.
They have. Listen, we told Eric Martin that big hit wasn't his best song. That wasn't that best song. But there was a song on that I loved, that I fucking loved. I like Living Dangerous. You know what I like about Living Dangerous, guys?
What?
That song reminds me of the Struts. You guys familiar with the Struts?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And have you ever been told that before? Because I know everyone says they're like Def Leppard, but I heard a little bit more of a power pop influence in that song.
No one's ever said that before, but I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I people, like you said, they draw comparisons a lot to Def Leppard, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're into that kind of like power pop rock, just good guitar with hooks and big choruses and all that good stuff.
The song that I was thinking of, and there's a ton of questions I want to ask you guys, but the song I absolutely loved, and if God forbid radio ever did their job and played music, real music, I think I loved Under My Skin.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
from the first record for sure.
Yeah, that's
it's going in the archives.
Yeah, that was the first record we did. It was kind of almost like an unofficial record.
Yeah.
That Zach and I recorded. And we wrote that song all the way back
2013.
2013, I think.
We wrote
really?
that. One
of the first songs we wrote together after we met. We met like in 2012, and we had just kind of gotten together to jam and hang out. And I think that was like song we either wrote week 1 or week 2.
Yeah, it was really quick. And we were both like, Harrison was in college. I was about to go to college. So it never really felt too serious. It more was just fun. And we were hanging out, writing music that we loved.
And that was one of them.
That was one of them.
Okay. So how old are you guys now?
26.
27.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I am 27. I just turned 27.
Oh, I hate you both. I hate you both so much.
These are two infuriating guys. Listen, they're both. Harrison, has anyone ever told you look like a young Val Kilmer?
I get that all the time, actually.
Yeah.
He gets something.
I have a funny story, actually. When I was up in Boston going to school, I remember I had come out of my apartment on the weekend or something to get food, and I was probably hungover or something. I'm just kind of like getting blinded as I come out, and I hear this homeless guy yelling at me, and I'm not like sure what he was saying at first. And I kind of look over to him like, what does this guy want? And he's like, hey, it's Val Kilmer.
Yeah. It's Val Kilmer from 1987. Yeah. So
I used to do an intro on stage. My first joke used to be how I used to look like Chaz Bono. And then one time at a friggin' rest area in Virginia, at a Sbarro's, I hear somebody yelling Chaz, and I'm like not paying attention to him. And the guy's like, "What are you, too good? You too good to talk to your fans?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
I had to ditch that really quick. Believe me.
Seriously thought you were Chaz Bono.
Yeah, I really did.
Wait till you see him live. He looks like a big baby Huey met Chaz Bono. That's who he's showing as. How did you guys get? I love that you guys are 27 years old, and that you. How did you guys get into this kind of music?
Parents, really. No, I mean, I owe a lot to it to our parents. Like, for me, my mom was a big Rolling Stones fan, so she would play me all the Rolling Stones stuff in the car, like growing up. And on my dad's side, he was really into the Bee Gees, so that was one of the first records I remember listening to.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. I mean, amazing pop stuff. And so it was really them. It was car rides. It was, and then, as
I think too, it's also, we're all, musicians, so it's like, if you're a great singer, if you're a great guitar player, if you're a bass player, if you're a drummer, you look to the best of the best, and the best of the best is from that period of, like 65 to 90. That's when like the guitar gods and the drum gods and the vocal gods all kind of wrote the book on what to do,
the star power.
So I think when you're growing up and playing guitar, you're naturally going to be looking at Van Halen and Jimi Hendrix and Jeff Beck and all those people. So you're obviously going to gravitate towards that music as inspiration, especially when you're first starting.
Being a Bee Gees fan, did you really hate the fact that the Foo Fighters put out that cover album that was just mind-blowingly amazing?
No, I didn't hate it at all. We like the Foo Fighters too. I was into it. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, there's no replacing the original.
I absolutely loved it. I love the fact that Dave Grohl actually said he thought it was going to be so intimidating to record that album, and then he realized how easy it was for him to hit that falsetto. And he said that every Foo Fighters record is going to sound just like this for the rest of their career.
And that falsetto is no joke. That's tough.
No, it's not at all.
Man, those Bee Gees I love them. So I don't know.
Like I said, you don't hear 27-year-olds give the answer that you just gave, Harrison, about understanding or knowing the history of music, knowing that the 70s really, the 60s into the 70s really is like, and like, you said, Zach, like the blueprint of where rock and roll came from, and then how everything kind of evolved. Like, you just don't get that from kids, your age, people your age. And that's so refreshing and great to hear. I think it's an interesting choice of covers that you guys chose to do. Women, Born to Be My Baby, because these aren't like the band's most popular songs. Like, you could have done Pour Some Sugar on Me for the 2000s time, but you went a little bit deeper into the catalog. Was that by design, or was it just something that you really enjoyed those deeper tracks?
I think when we're looking for covers, we're looking for songs that we really feel like we can turn more into our own. To me, a song like Pour Some Sugar on Me, it's a perfect, pop rock song. Everyone knows that song. It's kind of like, how do you really put your own spin on that song?
Yeah, you really can with that one.
Yeah, and same with like, what are you going to do? Living on a Prayer. And like you said, like a song that, every night in America, there's probably like 5,000 bands and bars.
If you go to a wedding and you see your grandmother or your aunt who's 93 years old singing the song, then you really should never cover the song.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we just did a cover of one of the new Kanye West songs, Jail.
Yeah,
which
just dropped that.
Which came out great because it was just such a minimalistic song, and it was like, when we look for covers like that too, like jam on this song. Oh, we could turn this into an awesome rock song. Add different drums to it. Add guitar. Add all that stuff. So we're always we're choosing covers. We're kind of trying to find those places that we can really, put a stamp on, or our stamp on the actual song.
And it's ultimately songs we love too.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I haven't heard that version of that cover yet, but I guarantee you, I like that version better already.
Well, if you're more inclined towards rock music, you'll probably
I love hip hop and rap too. It's just I don't know. There's something about that, man, that just don't get it.
Yeah, I kind of like him.
He's wild.
I can like him one year and then the next year hate him and the next year. He's one of those types.
But the song grabbed us, like with Kanye's track. Like we listened to the album. We were waiting along with the entire world for the album to finally get released. And then once it did, we listened to it. And that song really struck us.
We're like, oh, this could be an awesome epic rock song.
Yeah, immediately. So check it out. We got some time.
Oh, definitely.
My son goes to the University of Hartford, and I turned him on to Women and Born to Be My Baby. And all of a sudden, like all his friends are now like into you guys. And then like his friends who go over to UDEL, they sent him over the videos, and like all those kids are into it. So, we're really, my son is like you guys. Like he has me as a dad, and I turned him on to like this good music, and like he loves Kanye and he loves Pitbull, but he also likes this music, and he loved your version of the Def Leppard tune. And what was sick about it is you're doing it with one guitar. Like Def Leppard has to use two guitarists. Harrison's like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself, and it sounded amazing. When did you guys start? How did you guys start? Where did you guys start to play out? Are there still places that like rock clubs? Because growing up, rock clubs all over the place. I don't see that as much anymore. So how did you guys get started with the band?
Well, it really started, like we were saying, with Harrison and I meeting, and that was around 2012. How
did you guys meet?
Zach found me on YouTube.
We actually
okay.
Because at that time, like the YouTube kind of like cover guitar scene was kind of just starting. This was I'd started posting videos on YouTube, when I was in high school, so around 2008 to 2012. Mm. And so it was kind of like this tight-knit group of YouTube guitar players. And Zach ended up finding me when he was looking for a guitar
He did Is This Love by Whitesnake.
Yeah, I had a good Whitesnake.
Oh, were you looking for a guitarist, Zach?
Yeah, well, I was working with a songwriter at the time who was like, you need your Richie Sambora to your John Bon Jovi, Keith Richards, your Mick Jagger, blah, blah, all the examples.
And where do you live, Zach?
I live in New York City.
And how about you, Harrison?
Same thing.
He also does. And we didn't know each other.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, we did not know we did not know each other at all. And I found his video online, hit him up. We met down at the studio and immediately, started clicking. We talked about our musical interests, what we wanted to do, what we wanted the band to be like. And we just started writing songs.
And at that point I was in college. And so we didn't seriously pursue the band until I was out of school. Yeah. So it was kind of like, we had a few like stand-ins for drums and bass that would occasionally play with us when I'd be on summer break or, winter break, and we'd come back and do a show. Then once I was out is when we really went kind of pedal to the metal with the band being our primary motivation and what we primary focus. Mm. And then that's when we hooked up with Chris and Nick.
Is Chris the bass player?
Chris the bass player.
Nick.
Yeah, he's also a really good, like you could. We talk about this all the time with players. You talk about guys who are really technical, and you talk about guys who play with feel. And in my opinion, I think Chris plays with a lot of feel.
He really does. Yeah, he and Nick were like the icing on the cake, really, because once they joined, it really became, we were.
It really became a band. It really became a band when Zach and I were kind of on our own. When I was in school, and like I said, we weren't seriously pursuing the band, but it was really just us, and we had a few people fill in here and there. Once I was out of school and Nick and Chris joined, that's when I was like, okay, this is a band now. We are so lucky we have all these great people together. This is really hard to find to begin with, so we got to pursue this seriously. And we all write together now and everything, and it's great.
Was there any other inclinations of the band, or was it like, you guys hooked up, you found these two guys, and right from the beginning, it clicked, or whether there are other people that you had come in, audition, they didn't work out for one reason or another, and that, now this is the core of the band?
We did, yeah. I mean, there were a couple different people that came in and auditioned. I mean, like we found Nick first, and then we had a couple people try out for bass. It just didn't feel right. And Nick was like, I know this guy, Chris, who's a great bass player. Let's bring him down one day. And he did. And
it's so easy to tell when someone's a fit. I mean, you play with someone, you're like, hey, they're a good player, blah, 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 blah. When Chris came in and we played the first song, you just know immediately, like, okay, this is
just like locked in.
Yeah. You're like, okay, this is definitely the person. And because, we weren't, when I was at school and we weren't kind of able to play as much and focus on playing and writing as much, we had people that would occasionally play a show with us and fill in for bass or drums when Zach and I wanted to play, but there was no expectation or there was never any feeling like that was permanent. That was a permanent member.
Yeah.
So once we found them, it was like, okay, let's go. We got a great band.
Bass player is always the hardest position to fill in a band, because when I had mine, we went through like 6 of them before we found the right one. Great dude, love the guy to death. Smokes way too much pot and never remembers the bass lines at all. So whenever we were at practice, I would have to just go, no, this is the one where you start. It goes like this, dun, 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 and then he would remember the whole set.
Why is bass so hard to fill?
I don't know. It's one of those weird things. Like, you always have your guitar player and your singer. You're always set. Your drummer is pretty much always the miserable one, because he's got to unload the most equipment all the time and set up all the equipment.
I played the drums.
You try to help him.
We helped him. Yeah.
I never did, dude. Don't ever do that. If you're a singer, don't ever help the drummer ever. You do. You unscrew two, like, do like one cymbal.
Yeah. Where Zach actually puts in some work. He's like a rare lead singer that will help load it gears.
I can very well go full into that. Like, I'm just sitting back, you guys do it, but I'm not, because I don't want to do that to my friends. I don't.
It'll change, buddy. It'll change. Trust me.
Let's hold on to this interview.
You know when it's going to happen? It's going to happen when your drummer gets drunk too much on Goldschlager before the set, and pops his snare drum 30 seconds into the song, and he whips his snare drum at your head. That's when it's going to change, when you will never, ever pick up a drumstick from him ever again.
This sounds like a true story that happened to you.
It's a very true story. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's very true. What you said about, like, right from the very beginning, you kind of know. When we had a Ripper on, he was talking about his audition process of going into, audition for Judas Priest, and the song they selected for him to sing was "Victim of Changes," and the first lyric, "Whiskey woman, don't you know you're driving me insane." As soon as he hit that note, KK and Glenn hit the button and said, "So do you want to be in?"
Yeah.
Immediately.
Just right from there. And then they let him finish the song. You guys are, you're young guys, in 2021. Are you using social media at all to help you guys get more exposure for the band and let,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much,
that's like all,
it's kind of all we do now with COVID, because it's like, there's no playing, especially in New York City, which is still, pretty locked down. There's no shows or anything. So.
Yeah, it's been difficult, but like, this has been the time, like, over the pandemic, we really utilized social media. And I'm talking like last year, every week we did a Zoom call, the 4 of us, when we were all apart from each other. And we did like a Tuesday night jukebox where we would do a live stream with our fans, and we would, play some of our favorite songs, break down some videos that we liked. So we did that. I cooked a lot during the pandemic, so I live streamed that. So we were doing like everything.
Also, I mean, the covers too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big part of social media, in a way to get a new audience is, play a Kanye West song, play a Def Leppard song, play a Bon Jovi song. We did have Taylor Swift covers. I mean, we've gotten lots of fans and exposure from, branching out that way. I think those have been some of the biggest. And then
the live streams too.
Yeah. And I think it's important now. I mean, on social media, it is kind of a competition between everyone else. And you want to make sure that you're keeping your fans involved, because, they're being inundated by other bands and this and that. And you want to make sure you're having a connection with them and giving them content that they want to see, especially now that you can't play a show. It's definitely much easier when you can play a show every week or be on a tour. But hopefully that's going to be changing. I don't know. It's still kind of teetering a little.
Yeah. I know when quarantine started, like in the very, when it feels like 37 years ago, but I mean, I did live feeds every night on Facebook. I think I went like 140 something nights straight of just talking to people for like an hour, and just saying, what's going on in your life and what's, what are you guys into now? What are you binge watching? What are you doing? And honestly, it kept things really going for me for a little while too, But did you guys feel like you wrote a lot more while you were locked down?
It's funny because we had just finished. So the record that will be coming out in a few months, that Living Dangerous is a single off of, we had just finished that record and actually got the final masters of it like the second or third week of quarantine.
Yeah.
So we'd been working super hard, like expecting to release that record back in the summer, at the end of the summer of 2020. And obviously that hasn't happened yet. We've delayed it because of COVID. So we were kind of burnt out on writing and music stuff. And the quarantine was almost like a welcome relief of like, we don't have to do anything. So we didn't really write much for the first like few months of quarantine because we were kind of burnt out on just completing that record.
And we were apart, which was made.
And we were apart a little bit for the first part of that. But then since then, I mean, in the last year, we've been writing like crazy. We actually just had Nick over here.
Yeah.
We were working on new songs. So we're
working on an album too.
We're working on the following album than the one that's
great.
Better now than another time.
Yeah, like I was reading a thing that Iron Maiden just put out a new album the other day, and they recorded it like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
They were getting ready to release it right before the pandemic happened, and they were so tight-lipped about it. Like they were saying, if we go back on tour, we really have to relearn these songs all over again because we wrote them, 3 years ago, recorded them 2.5 years ago, and they've kind of forgotten a lot of the parts on them already too.
Yeah.
On that Iron Maiden album that was released on a couple of weeks ago on September 3rd, it was their highest debuting American album ever. And the band's been out there for over 40 years.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing about them too, Jeff. They write really rock radio friendly songs. There's like 3 songs on that album. That's 13 minutes long too, which is great.
Rock radio stinks. Okay, they stink. They play this. How many times you can hear Freebird or you can hear Paradise City? They'll never play something deep. It's the same 13 songs over and over again. It's horrible. That's why I kind of like gravitate more towards Sirius XM, and that's why I asked you guys about putting stuff out on your own. I think it's a really interesting strategy that you guys had, is putting out the covers, being as great with the covers that you did with them, and then drawing people into like your originals.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well,
like Def Leppard specifically, I was going to say, like retweet. We did the cover of Women. We were in a rehearsal room just hanging out. We had put up the video. We were not really thinking much of it, or about it rather. And we were jamming, and sorry, there's a siren going by. It's really loud.
It's New York too. We get it.
It's New York, yeah. All of a sudden we see all of our phones start to vibrate and blow up, and we're like, what's going on? And it says Def Leppard retweeted your video. Def Leppard posted on Facebook and Instagram. We were like, what? This is crazy. And our phones were just nonstop.
It was totally unexpected.
It was totally unexpected.
It had already been out for a few days. And they found it.
And posted it. And that, like, that's many crazy. People came to our page from that and are still fans of ours.
And listen, I mean, the covers thing worked for Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
exactly.
People forget Justin Bieber was found on YouTube.
Yeah,
by Usher.
Yep. So it's that. I think it's definitely a proven strategy for any young band, of any style, to try to branch out and capture new audiences by reinventing songs and doing covers and all of that stuff.
And they're fun to throw in the set to break it up every now and then.
Live,
they're great for live, which is
it's amazing. Like you guys really have like the whole package. You really do have it together. Like you know how to write already. You know how to kind of like put the whole thing together. Your sound is so freaking catchy, and it's really it's so refreshing and great to see that there's a band out there doing this type of music. Are there any of the other newer bands that you guys like as well? Like maybe like a Greta Van Fleet?
I would say I like Ghost a lot.
Yeah, Ghost is cool. I know they're not new.
I mean, a lot of the more like modern stuff I listen to isn't as like rock. I mean, we love the Killers.
We love the Killers.
You guys did the Killers version too. Great version of that song.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
Like you mentioned, I know they're not new, but Foo Fighters, big fans of.
Yeah, I love MGMT.
MGMT's cool. Like Bring Me some of the heavier stuff. Bring Me the Horizon's really cool. Like
we listen to all sorts. Like we'll listen to Slipknot, and then we'll listen to 5 Seconds of Summer, and then
we're all over
the next song.
Yeah, I've said this a million times. I pray to God that I never die in a car crash. If they ever take my phone, they're going to think I'm a complete sociopath by the music that I have on my phone or the way it goes. I literally will go from ABBA to like Attila, which is like German death metal.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I'm the same way.
We got some Rammstein in rotation, so
I do like a little Rammstein once in a while, but then I'll go to and play Walk the Moon and Shut Up and Dance and start dancing around my goddamn studio the whole time.
A good song's a good song,
I agree 100%. And that's the thing I love about covers too, is when you have a great cover like you did, you realize how good the original is. But when you can make a cover, kind of sound the same, kind of sound a little different, and make it their own, it just shows you a good song is a good song. And you mentioned Taylor Swift before too. I don't know if you know that Ryan Adams, great singer-songwriter, recorded Taylor Swift's 1989 album from beginning to end.
Yeah,
that's all complete different versions of the whole album, and it's a killer. Both albums are killer.
Yeah,
totally different records.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree.
Very cool.
You know what I think would be a good tour? I would love to see you guys team up with Rival Sons. I think that would be an absolute, like, oh man, like a must see.
Jeff has a man crush on Rival Sons. Let's just get this out of the way. Every episode, no matter if we're dealing with a rock person, a country person, a comedian, Rival Sons always comes up. So
I think there are bands and albums that just don't get enough love, and I think Rival Sons is one. Like, for the life of me, I can't figure out why this band hasn't broke. And to see the two of you guys out together, oh my God, man, that would be wonderful.
That would be awesome.
That could be a possibility. I mean, we're really now, I'm just trying to figure out the touring stuff for this coming year for this coming year and the end of this year. We were supposed to do the whole European tour with everyone from Iron Maiden to, Kiss and Metallica, doing all the festivals in Europe back in 2020. And then that was postponed to 2021. And now it's postponed to 2022. Right. So we're kind of still, it's hard to, it's hard right now, especially because everything is just getting everything that was postponed from 2020 is just getting rebooked now. So, but we're trying to get a tour together. So anyone that wants to come see us, just go to our social media. It's all Tempt Band.
Let us know where you want us to play.
That's where we'll post.
It's got to be tough though, because like this is your first major label release, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like you have that momentum that you really just want to get out there, let everybody see your shit, hear the great music. You want to go out there and sweat and just be all over the place. And like, you still got, it's kind of like running on a hamster wheel at this point, because like you really just want to get out there, get the music out, and you want to tour it. You want to tour this record because that's the most fun part about everything. You want to hear your shit on Sirius all the time, but you want to get out there and meet people in friggin' Tulsa, Oklahoma that never heard of you before.
Exactly.
It's got to be tough. It's got to be so tough because comics did so many different things trying to keep busy during the quarantine, but bands and stuff, man, it's got to be a totally different beast.
It's been really hard. I mean, especially as a baby band too, where this is really going to be our first world outing. So now trying to get these shows and get them booked has been kind of challenging, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be big when it does happen. Once we find the right thing to do, and once we kind of see, I think we need to see a little more with what's going on with the whole COVID thing, because you see all these big bands out now, and it's like they're on tour for a week, and then they have to take COVID, 2 weeks off, and then they're on tour for a week, and then they take a week off. So it's still teetering a little, it seems, on the edge of whether the touring stuff is getting back to normal and not. So we're just kind of waiting on that.
We had a really good live stream set up in our studio all of last year, where we got all these lights and we tried to make it as much of a show as possible for our fans to do, to watch and enjoy. And we did like a live chat after, and thinking about all this, we might have to put those lights back up because we took them down like right before. Well, we're like, all right.
They're really awesome live streams. They're up on our Facebook and YouTube. If anyone wants to check
those out. Those are fun.
Now, stage setup. How would you want your stage set? You want this gigantic light show, or you like one of those guys, like one of those bands that has like the 3 lights in the back and like the smoke coming up so you can get all moody and like broody and stuff?
I'm into big light shows.
Big lights for sure. Oh yeah.
I think you gotta just go big. Like, don't go great white big. You know what I mean? Like, don't go that crazy. But
we won't go like Kiss big.
I don't think we'll go pyro.
I don't think
maybe one.
I don't know. Maybe like. You can tastefully do pyro.
Yeah, sure. I like tasteful pyro. When we saw Kiss, and we had really good seats, and the pyro was so much louder than the actual band.
Oh yeah,
it was like every song. I was like, oh my God, this is.
Who had great lights always? Who had won a model lighting off of his Rush? The Rush live show. They had the perfect amount of flair with the lasers and stuff, but it was never too overkill, but it was always really cool. I'd model it after there.
Yeah.
I would do a Guar setup where you have like a gigantic monster behind you
Guar.
that just eats everybody while you're on stage. That's the kind of direction I see you guys going in.
Yeah,
Queen always did it right too.
Yes.
Yeah,
For sure.
How did the whole thing come about with you guys opening for Bon Jovi? And what did he say to you guys? I mean, that would be a good pairing too, you guys opening for Bon Jovi.
It would be. It was great. So he heard our music. He was doing on that tour.
How did he get it? How did he hear your music?
We got it to him. I don't remember how we got it to him.
I don't know.
He was looking
for like
local bands to open each show on the tour. And we found out about our music.
And we got invited to do it. And what's funny too is that he loved us so much that he then did the Bon Jovi cruise a year later.
So that was awesome.
But it was playing MSG with Bon Jovi. I mean, that's already like, okay, our career is done. Pack it up.
Yeah, I know. Bucket list for New Yorkers. Like I'm a huge sports fan. So like walking up to the stage of the Garden and seeing all the Rangers jerseys and the Rangers retired numbers and the Knicks and everything, and seeing like, especially the sound check was nuts because you walk out on stage and all the house lights are on and you see like 20,000 empty seats.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
And then in sound check, it was hitting that E power chord and just hearing it reverberate and delay through the empty.
Nick's kick drum.
The sound check to me was kind of the most fun part.
I have chills right now thinking about it, honestly.
And then we did meet John.
Yes.
And he was great. He told us a funny story about how he gave us a 20-minute set. So his rap about it, he said, why do you know why I gave you a 20-minute set? And we said, no, why? And he goes, well, when I first played the Gardeners with ZZ Top and they gave us 30 minutes, but we were so nervous, we played our entire set in 20 minutes. So
that's great.
He was so nice and his crew was fantastic. And
it's when you opening for Bon Jovi, you realize that's just like a totally clean pro run, best of the best operation.
That's how you do it. I mean, it's
insane. Actually,
remember
after how great they were.
When we were done with our sound check, because Bon Jovi was sound checking after us. We were like, where should we put our stuff? Like, do you need us to take it off stage or whatever? And they're like, no, it's fine. They'll work around your stuff.
Yeah.
And we've played with bands
at like a club that opening for some band at a club that would say, no, they got to get their crap off the stage.
Yeah. But I mean,
but Bon Jovi didn't care.
No, they're such pros and they were all so much fun to work with. And
what song did you open with?
We opened with a song called Two Ways.
Yeah. Two Ways.
Which was, it's funny. We actually wanted to open with a cover. We wanted to open with our version of We Will Rock You.
We do the fast version of We Will Rock You.
What song did you want to open with?
We Will Rock You, the fast version.
Yes.
So we wanted to open with that, but then in the lead, they were like, you can't, no covers. So we were like, gosh. So we ended up doing Two Ways, which is one of our originals. We did 5 songs. We crammed in as much music as we possibly could. We rehearsed it so many times. We timed it. We timed what I was going to say. We made sure that it was under 20
because we wanted to play as much music as we could. So it was like,
well, the band before the night before, the band went over by like a couple minutes and they turned the house lights on as they were still playing. So we were like, we do not want that.
No. It was about 3.5 years ago when you did this?
Yeah, May of 2018.
Yeah, it was a year before.
I was at that show.
You were there?
I was at that show. I was sitting behind the stage and like people make fun of me because of I'm a Jersey guy. So like I've seen Bon Jovi probably a dozen times and they're like, why do you go see Bon Jovi? Why do you go see Nickelback? Why do you go see these bands? I'm like, dude, there's like 9 to 10 to 1 women to men at these concerts. Why would you not want to go? Why would I not want to go see New Kids on the Block in concert when I can see all these soccer moms who are out for their one night out for the year? No, let me go see Dream Theater and watch and stay with 4,000 dudes staring at a guy playing the guitar. Yeah, let's do that instead. Great idea.
I like that logic.
Yeah, that's good logic for sure. It was a fun show and it was cool because after we played, they gave us a little designated area to meet fans in, and we got to our table and there were like 200 people waiting to say hi to us. So that's
awesome.
It meant so much to us. It really was great.
Were your parents there?
Of course.
Yes.
And it's a stupid question now, but were you nervous or were you like, hey man, we earned this, we belong here? And if you were nervous, how did you guys work through the nerves of that?
I think honestly, I was more nervous about meeting Bon Jovi and kind of more nervous about arriving to MSG and getting our bearings and making sure like we were doing the right thing. Like once we had sound checked and everything was ready to go, that there was more that anxious feeling, not nervous, like I'm afraid I'm going to mess up, but get me on the stage.
Right. Big difference.
Yeah. And
the waiting was torture.
And once we were on stage, I thought to myself, and I think all the guys had a similar reaction. I felt like this is what we should be doing every night. It was the most comfortable, best show we've ever played. It felt totally natural being up there, and it was great.
Isn't it like a real kick in the dick though? Like when you play Madison Square Garden, there's 19,000 people, and then your next show is like 40 people in Brooklyn.
Dude, our literal next show I think was out in New Jersey, and we played at 12:30 at night, and there were 5 people there.
It's the biggest mental screw job in the world.
We played like a party that someone had, and
we went on real late. Like there were delays, and
we kind of were like doing a favor for someone, and it didn't turn out that great.
No. Jeff knows this too, is because like we go all over the place. I always remember my first show as a comedian was 13 years ago. It was like 250 people at my first show. It was a competition. I came in second. I'm like, this is the greatest feeling I've ever seen in my entire life. I love this. My next show was in the back of a bar in Secaucus, New Jersey, for 3 people.
Yeah,
and it's all gone downhill from there, guys.
Well, we never let that bother for.
Yeah, we just put on our show wherever it is.
Same show for 10 people or 10,000. That's how I always think of it.
A couple of years ago, I'm at the Gramercy Theater, which is a place where you guys should absolutely play.
We played there a couple times.
Yeah, great venue, right? So I'm there with Rich Voss. And, there's about 650 people there. It's great. Okay. I have a great set. Should have gone home, felt great about it. I wind up going to the Grizzly Pear, which is basically like this dive bar comedy club on McDougal Street. 12 people, 6 of them walk out like right before I go on.
And the other 6 walked out while you were on.
And then the other 6 walked out while I was on stage, right? So it's the same thing. But I mean, it's like, I don't know, man, with musicians, I mean, that you did the pinnacle. You played Madison Square Garden. Everybody talks about it. You hear about like all these stories, how people just get overwhelmed. And at such a young age, you guys have already kind of accomplished that, So
now we want to headline it. That's the next goal.
That's the next goal. We already got playing it out of the way. Now it's how do we get back there?
That's a great friggin' answer to that question.
So what's next with you guys, like as far as actually touring? Because things like not like, I don't know about music wise, but comedy wise, the clubs are open. Is nothing open yet for music venues?
We're not only dealing with COVID, but our drummer has a broken elbow that he's like just healing up. And so we're still kind of waiting on that a little bit.
But like I said, quick social plug. All the social media is Tempt or Tempt Band. I think
Tempt
Facebook
Band.
and it's all Tempt Band. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's all Tempt Band. And we will definitely be posting about, we're going to be touring and playing shows very, very soon.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details.
Yeah.
I don't think we really have any, but it'll be happening very soon. So everyone that wants to find out when we're playing, go check that out. Because we post on there, whenever news comes up.
Yeah.
What's the release date for the album?
We don't have one yet. It's going to be
soon.
First quarter next year. What we're looking at. But I was going to say, we were supposed to play a show at Mercury Lounge in August that had to reschedule because of Nick and his arm. So we're looking to October for that, but we'll have the exact date.
You guys will be headlining that?
Yep. That'll be our show.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. The Mercury Lounge is great.
Yeah. I think I saw a date for that. I think it's October 13th, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be at that show. That's not even. Yeah.
I'm going to check the date right now. And
it's Wednesday, Jeff. I already did that. Check your calendar, put it in there. You got nothing to do. You have no life. Mark it down. We're going to the show. Which one of you guys? There's a connection. There's a connection in the band with Billy Squier.
Yes, Billy Squier is my godfather.
No shit.
How does that work out? How did that happen?
Just family friends with my parents.
Just happen to be friends with Billy Squier.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's kind of that simple.
Yeah, I know.
Did you ever see the video for Rock Me Tonight?
Yes, we've watched that video many times.
Yes, so don't ever do that.
We were thinking of doing that a recreation.
Shot by shot recreation.
Oh, you know what? And the thing is, Zach looks a little bit like. Can you flare your arms like that?
How does he do it? I don't know. I'll work on it and I'll look at.
But we did a great cover of the Billy Squier's Christmas song, which is a great song. Christmas is the time to say I love you.
It's one of my favorite Christmas songs.
I think it's the best, other than like Run Rudolph or something, which we also did a cover of. Yeah. It's like the best rock Christmas song. And we did a cover of that last year. I think the video is still up, though. We're planning on re-releasing it, and it's a really cool video.
It's a fun video. We did it in New York. We in the city. We dressed up in Santa outfits. And had some fun and had a good time.
Speaking of fun videos, so you know, it looked like a fun video if I'm getting the video right. Hot Summer Dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. That was we drove in.
That was so our record label was doing a summer compilation album. So we wrote a single for that. And it was peak COVID at that point because it was July of last year. So we kind of just did like a DIY home video and just rented a Mustang and drove around.
Went out to LBI, did some driving.
Yeah, went to Long Beach Island, New Jersey. We went out to we didn't use any of the footage for Long Island. I think it was like raining or something.
It rained one time that we were trying to do it.
But it was fun. Yeah, that was like a fun video we just did by ourselves, basically.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I see. I see right through you guys. You know why they did that video, Sean? Okay, you had these guys, hey, we're going to go down to LBI and film a video, and they're just going to be surrounded by chicks. Okay, we're in a band, we're talented, we're cute, and come on, be in the video. And then these guys wound up getting laid the whole weekend they were in LBI.
Nice. This is where they screwed up. They went to LBI, where there's tons of kids and families down there. They went a half an hour north to Belmar and went outside of Bar A and shot this video. Maybe play Madison Square Garden next week. You don't know.
LBI has nice women in LBI
for sure.
I go down there like every summer, basically. So.
Do you really? We just did shows down there, Jeffrey.
I was just down there at Bird and Betty's.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Bird and Betty's is fun.
Yep.
It is.
Many nights at Bird and Betty's.
Jeff opened for somebody, but I headlined my show. But I'm not bragging.
No big deal.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. One day I hope to return to Bird and Betty's, the headline Bird and Betty's.
The best part of shooting that video was getting chirped by like 4 kids, being like, "Oh, you guys are all in white, huh?" We're just like,
you got heckled.
Yeah. Oh well, LBI. I mean, like heckling in LBI is a pastime. I mean, I remember being a teenager on my bike down there heckling people all the time in their cars and stuff. So
that's right.
I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage. Yeah, I would have been one of the ones heckling us.
That's great.
What are one of the any other ideas or ideas for a cover?
We just put out the Kanye.
Yeah, we just did the Kanye one. So definitely everyone should check that out. I think that's one of our best covers we've done.
Yeah, it's fun. We did a real good video for that.
We actually have like a whole we have a whole list somewhere. One day we made a list of like songs we want to cover. One of them was the Killers one.
Yeah.
We've already done.
Yeah, we want to do a 1975 cover. I was thinking about that the other day. We almost have enough covers now to have an album of covers. I think we actually do.
Oh yeah, we at least have 10.
Yeah,
10
yeah.
covers.
So maybe
the covers are not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, we find it really fun to do. It's always a good creative break. Just like produce a song that's already written.
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest one.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest Radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That wouldn't be bad.
No, Harrison doesn't like it. I can already tell. I was hoping we go Radioactive by The Firm, which would have been more of a challenge for Harrison on guitar.
Yeah, but they don't know who The Firm is.
They know who The Firm is.
Yeah, but it's almost more fun if there isn't that much guitar, because then I can make my own kind of cooler guitar.
Right. Exactly.
A cool guitar solo on it.
Yeah.
Sean, ask your world famous final question.
All right. So I'm going to ask, listen, some people are very nice with this question. Okay. And they're honest. And some people are very politically correct. And it pisses me off when they're politically correct.
Yeah.
You could pick your ideal band and your band members are not in there. Who is your band?
Let's start with Zach.
Oh man. Okay. I'm in the band, or am I like?
Yes, you're in the band.
Yes,
and you
you're
pick,
the band.
you pick
And then-
everybody else.
And then Harrison has to pick his band.
Okay. All right. That's a good question. I think I would go like Joe Perry on guitar. I don't think he and Harrison could be more different.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I love Aerosmith, and I think I was the greatest. And having Joe Perry by my side would be very cool. Sorry, Harrison, for the sake of this exercise. How many people in the band? Have we got just a bass
Look,
drum?
I'm not saying go fucking
not an
Glenn
orchestra.
Miller. You know what I mean? I'm with 85 people.
It's a 5-man band.
Yeah, you can do 2 guitar players if you
a lead
want.
guitarist, a rhythm guitarist, a bass player, and the drummer. If you want to add keyboards, go for it.
Okay. I mean, I think like having Eddie Van Halen as another guitar player would be pretty damn cool. I don't know
Right,
who
so
would.
now how do you put Eddie Van Halen and Joe Perry together? That's like having that's a huge big dick competition. Like no one's gonna ever play rhythm guitar for that band.
And maybe that's what I want.
Oh shit! Okay, so you want
I
one
like how
album.
we're yelling at him, by the way.
One
No,
album with
you
2
can't, in this
egomaniacs
fantasy
beating the
band,
shit out
you
of each
can't
other.
have who you want.
I'm just creating chaos right now.
I like that. I like him, Jeff.
I love these guys. I love them. I love that band. I love these guys. They're great.
Okay, God, I have 2 more. I have a bassist and a drummer.
Yes.
Let's go with the chaos. Let's go Flea on bass because like
Oh, yeah.
So
time we've gotten
underrated.
that.
shit would be crazy. And then on drums, I have always loved I don't know if you guys have heard this drummer, Aaron Spears. He's a great drummer. I love that video of him doing Caught Up by Usher. He's like an insane gospel drummer.
If
you look up a video of him playing Caught Up by Usher, some of the fills in there are unbelievable. And that band would be so weird. I'm thinking about it now. I don't know who we'd be called, but yeah, that'd be my band.
Very cool.
I can do it.
Okay, I would go with Neil Peart on drums.
Nice.
Jeff Pilson from Dokken and Foreigner on bass.
Great.
Wow, that's a great pick.
I would do Lou Gramm as a singer, and
Good choice.
obviously
He got Harris. He got Zach Hare.
I'm on guitar, and then a rhythm guitar player. Maybe Malcolm Young is like the best rhythm guitar player.
It's a hell of a band you guys
I
picked.
don't think I like your band as much as I like his. I'm not gonna lie. I think your band will do more commercial success because it's great. But this is a TMZ band that he's talking about. Like there's going to be some shit going on every night.
Yeah,
And
that's like
bizarre.
that band is poised to have a reality show.
Oh yeah,
I want it, and I'm just kind of there being like, I don't deserve to even be up here with you guys, but
And
here
you're
let me tell
helping
you,
the drummer
hey-
unload his equipment.
yeah,
okay, for this band, I wouldn't help just to add to the
yeah,
chaos.
exactly. Let me tell you something. We have had some great guests on this show. Okay, we really have. And I mean, I'm talking like Billy Sheehan. We've had guys from Kiss and Volbeat on here. Nobody answered that goddamn question except for you guys and answered it honestly.
I don't understand why. Because when you were saying like, don't get political, I was like, oh no, here we go. That's a political question coming.
We're about to get camped.
Never.
That was not, that's no problem answering that.
Oh,
What
makes
you
my
think
heart
we're
happy,
asking about
Jeff.
Afghanistan?
Maybe, I don't know.
Honestly, I had no idea. I was preparing for much worse than that.
No, man. Listen. We really wish you guys like the best. We thank you very much for your time to come out, and we appreciate you spending a few minutes talking with us. We wish you nothing but like the best. If there's anything we could do, when you have something coming out, you want us to throw us a message, we'll be more than happy to promote it. Continue to share the videos with our fan base. We have again, you're going to see a ton of views and likes from college kids because we've been circulating this throughout that whole these 2 college campuses, and we're going to keep pushing you guys.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
This
Thank
has been
you.
great.
We really
It's super
appreciate
fun.
you spreading the word. It was
And
so
it's
nice.
Tempt Band, right? That's your social media.
Everything's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everything Tempt Band. One word, no underscores, nothing like that. Super easy.
Perfect. We will see you guys October 13th at the Mercury Lounge.
Yes, these guys are the future of rock and roll.
Awesome. Thanks,
Take care,
guys.
guys.
So much. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Good one.